nightmare for a local family. They say an electric car sparked this fire that destroyed their home.
A recent incident where an electric Mercedes EQS burned down a Nocatee home has sent shockwaves around the world, with many questioning the safety of EVs. In the last few years, we have seen many electric cars and buses bursting into flames and burning down. And with the increased incidents, most people are still skeptical about transitioning to battery electric vehicles. With California announcing a ban on gasoline-powered new car sales in 2035 and other states following suit, we must gain an understanding of these cars, since even automakers are transitioning into electric vehicles at a blistering pace. So, are electric cars safe, and should you buy an electric car in 2023? Most people are still in the process of understanding electric cars. However, we can all agree that they are far different from the last century's gas guzzlers. But there is plenty of information about battery-powered automobiles that people don't know. Jennifer Ruotolo is busy packing up her life after bringing home a 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQ E350 Plus. Her Nocatee home was destroyed in a fire sparked by the electric car. The painful thing is that this car was a loaner from Mercedes-Benz while her car was getting serviced. Ruotolo now regrets ever bringing the car home. It was parked in the garage for about 22 hours and then caught fire. At about 8:30 in the morning, her husband heard a hiss and a pop, and he went to the garage and found it full of smoke. The car then engulfed in flames and exploded. Ruotolo said the car wasn't even charging when it went up in flames. Her 5-year home is soot-filled, and she spent much of Thursday morning evaluating what personal belongings are worth saving. The St. Johns County Fire Marshal is still investigating the exact cause of this fire, but he's urging electric car owners to be aware of the potential risks associated with lithium-ion batteries. Ruotolo said the damages to her home are well over $1 million, but most importantly, her family is safe. The Mercedes-Benz had previously issued a recall for the 2023 EQ E350 models because the cars did not alert drivers to battery malfunctions. However, the company said it wasn't aware of any accidents or injuries due to battery malfunctions. How and why do electric cars catch fire? There are usually 3 possible reasons why these cars could be prone to catching fire. One possibility is that the battery pack may have been improperly manufactured. Second, the software that manages and operates the battery may not have been designed correctly. The third reason is if the battery pack is damaged, whether in a crash or when the vehicle takes an impact from the bottom, it can burst into flames. The lithium-ion battery cells contain organic liquid electrolytes. This liquid is so volatile and flammable when operating at high temperatures. So if the pack gets damaged in a crash, it could lead to chemical leakage, which would cause a chemical reaction resulting in a fire. The multiple cells inside the battery begin to explode and ignite continuously. Even if the fire is extinguished, they may catch fire repeatedly, with cells exploding one after another. So firefighters carry special chemicals to extinguish electric car fires. Traditional water and foam extinguishers don't work on lithium battery fires. During the filming of Season 2, Episode 1 of The Grand Tour, Richard Hammond drove a Rimac Concept 1, a 1,100 horsepower electric hypercar. But the dramatic end came during a hill climb when Hammond lost control of the vehicle at the top and fell off the road's edge. The Rimac barrel rolled and stopped at the bottom of the hill, landing on its roof. While Hammond was rescued and was safe, the car caught fire as the lithium-ion battery pack was damaged. The Rimac kept burning for hours until there was nothing left. Over the years, there have been multiple cases of cars spontaneously combusting while sitting idle or charging in a garage or parking lot reported. Even atmospheric conditions could impact the electrodes inside the battery pack if not manufactured correctly. Automakers like Hyundai and General Motors were forced to recall many of their electric vehicles when it was found that allegedly a certain LG Chem design battery pack was prone to catching fire. With the rising number of cases, should you fear electric cars? The right answer would be yes and no. Yes, electric cars could catch fire if the battery pack gets damaged or if it's manufactured improperly. However, one needs to consider that the concept of electric cars may have been around for some time, but the cars themselves are still new. the technology behind these cars still needs to be refined and understood. Over a century, we have been driving cars with gallons of highly flammable gasoline or diesel on board after the technology was refined over the years to the point that today we don't see that many cars exploding. Despite all the attention given to EVs in the last few years, the industry is still in its infancy, with only a small percentage of all new vehicles sold featuring battery electric technology. The US trails China and Europe by a wide margin when it comes to the adoption of EVs. With the growing variety of models, EVs are now available for every buyer. However, up until now, many EV buyers have been early technology adopters or EV enthusiasts who might be willing to face some challenges to be the first on their block to drive an electric car. Because of the way electric motors work, electric cars, trucks, and SUVs offer excellent acceleration. Even the cheapest EVs, including the Chevrolet Bolt EV and Nissan Leaf, enthusiastically move from stoplights. The most powerful EVs, such as the Lucid Air Dream and GMC Hummer EV, offer acceleration that rivals gasoline-powered supercars. According to Tesla, the Tesla Model S Plaid has a 0 to 60 mph time of just 1.99 seconds. That's a far cry from early EVs, including the 2012 Mitsubishi i-MI EV, which were more like golf carts with headlights than mainstream automobiles. Also, buying a battery electric car or a plug-in hybrid vehicle may qualify you for substantial federal, state, local, and utility incentives, including the federal electric car tax credit, which may put as much as $7,500 back in your pocket. Most of the incentives are financial, though some offer other benefits, such as carpool lane access. In general, tax credits are only available to buyers of electric cars. When you lease an EV, the leasing company usually takes the credit, which they may pass on to you through lower lease payments. Many tax incentives are credits you won't receive until you file your next year's taxes. However, some states now offer point of purchase credits, so you can instantly get the credit and apply it to the vehicle purchase. The federal credit will shift to a point of purchase incentive in the coming years, but you must wait until your next year's taxes are filed. However, this tax credit program is not for every electric car. With the recent passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, the formerly generous federal electric car tax credit program was gutted. And because of a new Made in America requirement, far fewer EVs are eligible for any federal tax credit at all. For example, the Made in Korea 2023 Kia EV6 is no longer eligible for the credit, while the 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe plug-in hybrid is eligible because it's made in the US. With the new regulations, you should talk to a tax professional before buying to ensure you can get the credit you expect. However, you can now purchase various electric vehicles in the US, ranging from affordable compact cars such as the Nissan Leaf to the Ford F-150 Lightning full-size pickup. There are mainstream crossovers such as the Volkswagen ID.4 and extreme performance SUVs, including the GMC Hummer EV pickup. BMW and Mercedes Benz continue to roll out new vehicles with impressive performance and excellent range. The new Mercedes-Benz EQS brings an all-electric drivetrain to an S-Class quality sedan, while the BMW iX M40 offers stellar performance for an SUV. Beyond traditional automakers, several startup car makers have new models on the road. This includes Tesla, Lucid, and Rivian. But one of the greatest challenges to the wide adoption of electric vehicles is how to make recharging easy for residents of multi-family housing, such as apartment buildings. Owning or leasing an EV can be challenging without a dedicated parking spot or garage. While you can use public charging stations, doing so can be costly and time-consuming. Workplace charging options are growing, but they're still not common. However, some apartment complexes and condominiums now provide charging stations as a benefit for residents. A growing number of cities require charging stations, or the wiring to support them, to be installed with any new multi-family housing construction. Many European cities use existing streetlight poles to house electric vehicle charging stations. That way, even if you have to park on the street, you still have a charging option. There are many advantages and disadvantages of EVs, many of which we have not covered in the video. However, if you want me to cover that in a separate video, comment below and I will do just that. What do you think about the safety of electric cars? Would you consider buying one after hearing about this incident? Please let us know in the comments section. Subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one.